Hi students, welcome back to today's class. Now we are going to see the next unit, that is unit 3, information and communication technology skills. Okay, so that is only known as ICT. Okay, information and communication technology skills. So the first session is basic computer operations. ICT stands for information and communication technology. Okay, it refers to all the methods, tools, concepts related to storing, recording, and then sending digital information. So we can store the digital information with the help of some methods and tools and concepts. We can record and we can send the information. Okay, so this is only known as ICT. ICT, it involves a different kind of methods and tools and concepts related to storing, recording, and sending of digital information. Information can be recorded or stored in many ways, like a handwritten on paper, written using a typewriter, and so on. Okay. When information is stored and recorded on electronic devices, so information we can record in the handwritten paper also and in the written using typewriter also. When the information is stored and recorded on electronic devices, it takes on a digital format. So ICT devices are all tablets, smartphones, and laptops, desktops, all those things we will call it as ICT devices. ICT skills helps us to communicate, and we can run our business, and we can stay connected with our family and the friends. Okay, so these are the use of ICT skills. So it is helping us to communicate, and we can stay connected with our family and the friends, and we can run our business with the help of these ICT skills. So hence every person needs to acquire or needs to get the ICT skills and build them to stay updated with the latest software and the application. So we should know about the latest software and applications also if you want to get the ICT skills means. Okay, computer hardware and software, this is the next topic. The computer system consists of two main parts, that is hardware and the software. What is meant by hardware? The physical part that we can see and touch are called hardware. So this is only known as hardware. So we can able to see and we can able to touch also the device, we can touch it also. So it is the machinery of a computer. These are the keyboards, monitors, CPU. Okay, here we are having monitor, and there is another important part, that is a software. So software means it's a set of applications or programs which are there for doing work. Okay, so there is an important part, that is software. Though we cannot see it, it makes the hardware work the way we want. Okay, so it is making the hardware to work the way we want. Okay, in which way we want to make the hardware to work, it will the software will make it enable. Okay, so the monitor is a physical device or the hardware. So when we start a program, for example, a game, it is displayed on the monitor. So this is done by the software which displays the text, images, videos on the monitor. Hardware would not be able to function without the software. So any hardware without the software help, it will not able to do its work. So mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets are also computer systems with hardware and software. They are simply smaller in size and they can be easily carried around. So it is very small in size, and also it can be easily carried around. And the most important software in any computer is the operating system. So this is the software that starts working as soon as we switch on the computer. So whenever we switch on the computer, which software will be working firstly means OS only, operating system. It displays the desktop on the monitor. So desktop screen, we can get it on the monitor only when the OS is getting loaded. And some of the most commonly used operating systems for laptops and desktops are Ubuntu, Microsoft Windows, and Mac OS, Macintosh OS. And mobile devices also have an operating system that helps them perform their functions. So some of the mobile operating systems are Apple iOS and Google Android. Okay. So all the computer applications such as browsers, game, office tools, etc. are also software programs that perform the particular functions. So whatever functions are allotted for that, those functions we can able to do with the help of those application softwares. And next we are going to see about starting a computer. So what is the first thing you do after you wake up in the morning? What if your father tells you to do your homework immediately? Can you do it? Normally, you would do some daily activities and get ready before you start working. So, daily activities you will be doing. After that, only you will be doing your allotted work. No. Similarly, when a computer is switched on, it performs some basic processes or functions before it is getting ready to take instructions from the user. So, before it is getting instructions from the user, any computer will do the basic processes or functions. To start a computer, press the power button. So this is only known as power button. We need to press it on and in the CPU. This will start the operating system and display the Ubuntu desktop or Microsoft Windows means Microsoft Windows desktop or the main screen on the computer monitor. Okay, so basic functions performed when a computer starts. So when we press the start button, what happens inside? Just as uh, just as we go about our morning routine without anyone telling us what to do, a computer automatically runs a basic program called BIOS, basic input output program system. Okay, basic input output system. As soon as it is switched on or the power button is pushed on. Okay, so this program is going to be run automatically when we switch on the power button. The BIOS first tester does a self test. Self test means whether all the units are working properly or not, whether the system is fine or not, will be checked with the help of this basic input output system. Okay, so if the self test shows that the system is fine, the BIOS will load the operating system. Okay, this means that the computer operating system, for example Ubuntu, is now ready to take a user inputs. Okay, so once the system is fine, then BIOS will load the operating system, then it will make the um, Windows or Ubuntu OS will be available on your screen. Okay, so log in and log out. This is the next topic what we are going to see under the first session. Just like we keep our cupboards locked at home, we need to keep our computer locked when we are not working on it. Okay, so whenever we are not working on it, whenever we are not using the cupboard, we are locking. No, in the same manner, computer also need to be locked whenever we are not working on it. Okay, so this will ensure that no unauthorized person can see or make changes in your computer or to our information without taking our permission. So to make sure your computer is locked, you have login ID and the password. So login and password is like a key to the lock which allows you to use the computer. It is like a key to the lock which allows us to use the computer. So keyword username and password we need to give in order to open the lock. And when you log into the computer with your login ID and password, the computer knows that you are an authorized person and allows you to work on the applications in the computer. So whatever softwares we have in our computer, we can able to do work with that applications once we log into the computer. So once you finish working, you must log out. See, you must log out or you must shut down your computer, sign out, so that no one else can see your work. Okay, you need to sign out or you should log out properly. Next is shutting down a computer. You can shut down the computer in Ubuntu by clicking systems button at the top right. So at the top right we will have the systems button, and by clicking on the systems button and you'll get the display menu. In that you need to click on this shutdown option. Okay, and click shutdown option as shown in the figure 3.6. When you click shutdown, the operating system will close all the applications and turn off the computer. Okay, operating system will close all the applications. Whatever softwares we have opened, everything will get closed and it will be turning off the computer. Next one is using the keyboard. A keyboard is an input device. It is used to type text, numbers and commands into the computer. Okay, it is shown here. These are the keys which are available in the keyboard. This and all you know very well. So function keys, next is command keys, navigation keys. Okay, and punctuation keys and Windows keys, control keys, numeric keypad, all these things are available. Let us see one by one. So keys labeled from F1 to F12 are function keys. You use them to perform specific functions. Okay, their functions differ from program to program. The function of the F1 key is in most programs, whatever program you are working with, and the function of F1 key will be what? It is to get the help on that program. So help on the software what we have, what we are working. Okay, so about that software we will get some kind of help. Okay, that is only use of the F1 key. Some keyboards may have fewer function keys also. Okay, like control keys, enter key, and punctuation keys, navigation keys, command keys, Windows keys also we have as the following keys. And control keys are the keys such as CTRL, Shift, Spacebar, ALT, Alt key, and then Caps Lock key and Tab key are special control keys that perform special functions depending on when and where they are used. Okay, when we are using and where we are using, according to that we can make use of these control keys. Okay, so what are all the keys comes under control key? CTRL, Control, Shift, and then space bar, alt, tab, and caps lock. Okay, and next is enter key. Otherwise, it is sometimes it is written like return. Okay, so the label on this key can be either enter or return. So both are enter key only. So depending on the brand of the computer that you are using, you use enter or return key to move the cursor to the beginning of the new line, that is to the next line it will be taking us. So in some programs it is used to send commands and to confirm a task on a computer. So if you want to press OK instead of OK, instead of pressing OK button on your GUI window, you can just press the enter key also in order to send the command. Okay, and to confirm a task on the computer. And next is punctuation keys. Punctuation keys includes keys for punctuation marks such as colon, semicolon, question mark, single quotes, and double quotation marks also. And next is navigation keys. Keys such as arrow keys, home, end, page up, page down are all called the navigation keys because these are used to move page down, page up, and you can move to the last, that is line of text last and line of text beginning. For all those purposes we can use these navigation keys. So these are used to move up, down, right, left in the document. So the home and end keys move the cursor to the left and right of the line of text. Okay, end of the right and left end of the line of text. And the page up, page down keys are used to move one page up and one page down respectively. Next is command keys. Okay, so keys such as insert, ins, delete, and backspace are command keys. Okay, so insert, delete, backspace are command keys. These keys are used for what? These keys are used for when insert key is turned on, it helps you to override the characters to the right of the cursor. So whatever letters you have right side of the cursor, that letters will get erased whenever you are typing in new characters. Okay, and if you are placing the cursor here and if you make a insert key to be on, no, so now if you are typing here, and what will happen means WHEN will get erased if you are typing 4 letters means. Okay, so like that the insert key will be working when you make that insert key is in on condition. Okay, so it helps you to override the characters to the right of the cursor's right side. Whatever letters are there, if you type 2 letters, 2 letters will get erased here. And the delete key and the backspace keys are used to remove the typed text. So but the difference is that from left side one key will be used for deleting the characters, and from right side delete key. From left side, any left side of the cursor, if you want to delete some letters, you can go for this backspace key. So characters and other objects on the right and left of the cursor will get deleted by using left delete key and the backspace key. And Windows key, by pressing this key it opens the start menu. So this key is only known as Windows key. When you are clicking this Windows key near to Alt key, that is left side of Alt key, and in between Control and Alt key, we will have this window key. With the help of this, we can make open the start menu. Next is using mouse. So this is also one of the hardware in our computer. So mouse is shown as a small device that you can use to move, select, and open an items on your computer screen. So let us see some of the functions that can be performed using mouse. Different applications will behave differently to the mouse actions. Okay, so here we will use the different applications means what? Different softwares now will behave differently for the mouse or mouse functions, mouse actions. Here we use the file explorer to see the effect of the mouse action. Okay, so here they have given one example of file explorer, how we can make use of this mouse action. Okay, so we have 3 buttons here. Left click, and if you are pressing left button, then that is known as left click. If you are pressing right button once, then that is known as right click. And then center we have the scroll button. Okay, and first next one is roll over or hover. So some actions can be done by simply rolling over or hovering over an item. So if you are just rolling over an item or hovering over an item, okay, in the file explorer, so when you are just moving the mouse over any particular item, any particular file, so it will be displaying one information. It will show the details of that file like this figure. So when you are roll over any file names or any item names, what will happen? The details of that document will get displayed like this. Okay, so whether this is belongs to spreadsheet or Excel, Word or PowerPoint, like that, it will get displayed, and the file format also. and next is which date it was created and which time and how much size of that file. Everything will get displayed just you are hovering over the mouse or rolling over the mouse over any item. And point and click. As you move the mouse on your desk, the pointer moves correspondingly on your screen, and immediately if you want to select some item, just click on it. Okay, just single click on it. Okay, that will be selecting an item. The mouse allows you to select an item on the screen. When you click a particular file, it gets selected like this. Okay. And next one is drag and drop. You can move an item, you need to click it. Okay, and then holding mouse button down, first you click it and hold the mouse button down. Okay, left mouse button. After you move the item to the new location, then move the item to the new location. After holding the mouse button down, no, left mouse button, then move the item to the new location. After you move the item to the new location, you release the mouse button. This is called drag and drop. Okay, so first you are dragging it and finally you are dropping it in the new location. Okay, so when you drag a file in the file explorer, you can pick it up from the present location and drop it in a new location where you release the mouse button. Okay, so when you are dragging a file in the file explorer, what you need to do, you need to pick it up from the present location and you need to drop it in a new location. Okay, and that is known as drag and drop. Next, last one is double click. Double clicking means to quickly click the leftmost button twice. Okay, 2 times you need to quickly click the leftmost button. That is only known as double clicking. So when we double click on a file, it will be opening the file. Okay, so when you are double clicking on the file, the file will get opened. So with this, session 1 is over. Next we will see session 2, that is performing basic file operations in the next video. Thank you.